Hello, everybody. Welcome to Keep It Raw Relationship Channel. My name is Ravel for you all that don't know, and I appreciate you tuning in to my channel, and I hope you continue to tune in and invite other people to tune in because this channel was created with you in mind. So I want to dive right into the message today. It's been a long time coming. I done watched this, studied it, heard about it, been in discussions about it, and it's possibly the biggest subject ever in dealing with relationships. It's the pretty much the elephant in the room, literally. So we have to dive right into this. And the message today that I want to address is why men stop talking in relationships. Why do they stop talking? You start dating and so forth, and everything is going so well. That's mutual respect. That's mutual compliments. That's admiration going on. Everything is clicking and vibing. Everything is going well. He's saying the right things. She's doing the right things. Everything is flowing smoothly until something go terribly wrong. Something begin to take place that alter the way things were in the beginning. Isn't that right? You notice things were going real well. There was a great harmony and spirit of unity. And then suddenly, like a train wreck, you think, what happened? What happened? Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. And again, this is not all inclusive, but at the same time, this is a major factor. Why men stop talking in relationships. Because early on, he's attentive, he's complimenting you. But the shift in the crossroad between getting to know that person, him getting to know his woman, the woman getting to know him better on a deeper level, and the disagreements begin to come. And a different part of the personality begin to show on both sides. And the disagreements begin to come, and you have to be able to deal with disappointments and not internalize them. And often what happens is a person disagree, and more than not, sometimes they get internalized. You begin to change your perspective of the person you're dealing with. Your vibe change, and the vibe in you begin to affect the vibe in the other person. And this can happen from the man to the woman to the woman to the man. It can happen either way. But there's a breakdown in communication. There's a breakdown in understanding. Maybe you have to readjust your perspective. But often we want the other person to change when the true thing that needs to take place, we need to look deeper into ourselves and make adjustments as well. And this is where the gridlock come in at. Become a total gridlock, and something that could have been special become a kind of a rope around your neck, so to speak. Isn't that right? Some of you all are feeling that. And before we continue, I want you to make sure you like, subscribe, make sure you send this and share it, and make sure you continue to come back. But the problem comes with this. Things go on, and he was given so much compliment and tuning into the woman because he wanted to win her over, and he wanted to keep her happy so she can make him happy. But when he began to bring up his concerns, when the man began to bring up his concerns, because often the man is not emotionally fluent in relationships in some cases. But when he began to feel smothered and he want to exert himself, his mode changed from that complimentary guy. And so he began to express his concerns, his disagreements. And so the woman is not used to that. So she feel blindsided. Isn't that right? You feel kind of blindsided because everything was well when it was all about you. But now he's trying to exert himself and say, I need more space. He's trying to breathe. He's trying to express what he don't like and don't agree with. When prior seemed like everything he was in agreement with, or most things. And now suddenly the woman feel attacked. And as he bring up his concerns and redirect her behavior, this is when it all erupts. Yes. And again, this can happen both ways. But I'm just taking this perspective because this is what I have looked at over the years and discussed and have watched real carefully. And so in bringing up his concerns, he rarely ever get to finish out what he's saying because she's going to cut him off every time. Isn't that right, guys? You never get a chance to say what you intended to say. So this is where things go terribly wrong. She feel that he's being mean. She feel that he have attacked her. She began to change the way she see him. She feel that he have become a different dude all of a sudden. And all he was trying to do was express a point, an emotional point. Because the relationship can't be controlled by one person controlling the emotional landscape of the relationship. And that's what ended up happening. So the number one thing that happened with men that caused them to leave is because they're emotionally smothered. They don't have no space to feel. They have feelings just like you do. They may not express them all the time, but when they do, they get cut off. You want to cut them off. You don't want to talk. You go through days, maybe weeks, in this strange closed down, non-talking move, this enemy vibe. And all he was trying to do was express a point. Let him speak and finish talking. Because again, if he's not talking, he's going to start walking. So that's the problem. And a lot of times they're not going to explain this. They're going to say it one or two times, maybe a few more, before they just close down and say, hey, it's no use. So he never finished his point, and she emotionally, unawarely hijacked. Yes, you emotionally hijacked the relationship. So you emotionally hijacked the relationship by cutting off his whole conversation. You make things about your feelings, and you close out his. This is very important, women. You have to stop closing out his emotional feelings and when he start talking, because it's not easy for him to express that. And so when he do, and you cut him off and get all upset and make it about you, that becomes very troubling to men. Very troubling. The conversation goes off course, and so does the relationship. And men speak mostly in practical terms, and sometimes women listen from a emotional. So while he's speaking practical, she's hearing through emotional filters. And she's taking it personal instead of just listening proactively and listen to what he said and let him finish his point. Very few men ever get through finishing their point. And that's where the problem ends. And that's where the big problems start. So she reacts through hurt. You begin acting hurt. And what happened is hurt people hurt people. Whether you yelling, whether you crying, whether you blaming him for upsetting you and causing you harm, all because he was making a simple point about himself and what he was thinking. You have to stop this. And this is where coaching and praying and dealing with yourself come in place. Now, this may not apply to all women, but a lot of you have done this. And this is why men walk, because they can't talk and be who they are and express themselves clearly. Because you won't listen, guess what? Someone else will. And so this is why you run into a lot of the problems you're running into. So his reaction is usually he's shocked. He confused on how him expressing his feelings suddenly become about you. So this is baffling. He began to wonder, what? And mind you, he never finished his point. You are upset. You're frustrated. You feel attacked. And this is all how you processing it. And it may not been good what he was saying, but it had to be said. So you become emotionally annoyed, cold and withdrawn, and this can go on for a while. And sometimes you emotionally exaggerate things. So everything that ever was said, now you believe was a lie. Because if he pointing one thing out that he don't like, he had to be lying about everything. Please stop this. Guys don't know how to process this. Like, what? Are you serious? No, he was just pointing out one or two things that don't negate and take away everything else that had been said and done. And sometimes you feel that way, and you have to get control of that and channel your feelings a little better. You women out there, you have to channel your feelings better than what you're doing. So later the guy rebound, and emotionally, he rebound and try to put the traumatic situation behind him because it is traumatic. He want to love you and want the relationship to grow, and bringing it up, he thought you would have a plan, you would discuss it, and you would get stronger. But now it doesn't become the opposite. You're not talking, or barely. The mood in the household unchanged. You're withholding yourself physically, emotionally. You don't trust him. You batting your eye at him. You're telling your friends about him. So all of this become traumatic. But he tried to move on. But at the same time, you wonder, how can he expect you to be physically involved when he just ripped your heart out, and he's thinking, wow, just bringing up a point. So what you do, what you don't realize is that, by you withdrawing and making his concerns yours, his feelings about you, what you have done is created a wedge in the relationship unawarely. And this began to grow and repeat itself over and over until, you don't realize that you have injured him emotionally. And you draw a line in the sand, daring him to ever bring something up again about you. So he stopped talking to you. He don't trust you emotionally. He can't speak to you. And so this is what happened. And he's not going to go over and over because he saw the damage that it created with you, and he know what he feel in bringing it up. And so many women, you don't realize this. You have to give him space to breathe emotionally. You're not the only person with feelings and thoughts and disagreements and things you don't like. He don't tell you everything he don't like about you because you can't handle it. You say, well, give me the truth. No, you can't handle the truth because this is why he's not speaking. And so this may go on for weeks, months, and years. He's no longer the guy that you was in love with, and y'all had great times, and you may have great times, but he's not the same guy because he become a shell of who he is, and he realized that speaking his truth is too costly. So out of love for you, he decided never to express himself in that way again. And so you wondering, I want a guy to express himself. No, you don't. Because the reason why he don't is because you have showed and demonstrated he cannot speak. So as you go forth in your coldness and hurt feelings continue, he feels frustrated, confused, and disrespected. So now he's taking it personal in some way. After he have tried and you go days and weeks like this, and you bringing it back up, you now try to take attacks at him. And so this damages the relationship when it should have been a good thing. It become an awful, terrible, train derail situation. So you have wounded, the relationship becomes on dangerous ground, all from what was meant to be a bonding, open conversation. So he wants your respect. He wants you to understand him, that he's not just a physical person. He's just not just a provider. He's not just a person to have sex with and use to make you feel good and to attend to your emotional needs. He have those needs too. The emotional needs of men is the number one neglected thing among men and very often not expressed. So keep that in mind. I want you to understand that this is the reason why men stop talking, because you cut him off and you won't allow him to express his feelings because it conflict with what you think and feel. And sometimes you carry this over from other relationships, and he carried over from other relationships. So you have to begin to bond and communicate and learn to disagree and work through the disagreements. Okay? So remember that, and remember, continue to tune in, continue to subscribe, because there's more to say on this, but I'm going to have to get going. But that's the point I want to leave with you. Allow him to speak, even when it's hard to listen and hear what he's saying, because his feelings are relevant. What he's saying is relevant, and it's going to help the relationship grow, but there may be some renovation need to take place. whether it be emotional renovation, whether it be discussions, whether it be working through, whether it be counseling, but he's talking to you and he want what he's saying to be respected. When he can't talk, he's going to start walking. When he can't talk, he's going to walk, whether it's next month, a year from now. And so the other person, the cleanup woman, can come along and she want to hear what he's saying. She want to understand what he's saying. And you don't. So think about that. God bless you. Keep it real. Keep it raw.